Alright guys, so my intention was not to be still talking about the human body systems after a couple weeks of virtual learning, but I do understand that this learning process takes a little bit more time and is also going to take a little bit more review. So today I'm hoping that I can give you all some abbreviated notes to take in your science notebooks or on a piece of notebook paper if you've lost your science notebook. Remember that it's always best to write down the notes, because as you write, it also helps to store that in your memory. So on the next open page of your science notebook, what I would like for you to do, or on your notebook paper, is I would like you to take notes on what we've learned so far, which is how our bodies are organized. It's organized in cells. And remember that a group of cells creates tissues. And a group of tissues creates organs. And then lastly, a group of organs creates organ systems. And again, we are going to talk about the organ systems today, and hopefully find some keywords to help us remember what each of those organ systems functions are within our body. So the video we're going to watch today talks about the different organ systems, and it goes through them alphabetically. This video does cover more organ systems than what we are required to cover in 5th grade. So you'll see that I kind of skip throughout the video and just highlight the organ systems that we cover in 5th grade. The video is also organized in ABC order or alphabetical order, so we are going to go through the organ systems alphabetically. So that means that the video is going to start with a quick overview of what we just talked about here, with how our bodies are structured, how they're organized, and then it will get into the discussion about the different organ systems and give you some examples. So let's jump right in.
Have you ever heard the phrase, "I know this like the back of my hand"? Well, it might make you question, do you really know the back of your hand? Because if you really look at your hand, you see your skin, but it's also what you can't see underneath that's pretty incredible. You can't see the millions of cells that make up your hand, at least not without a microscope. We take these cells for granted sometimes, but your body is made up of millions of cells. Cells that work together, cells that are very organized with specific functions, cells that carry your whole DNA code, but use specific parts of your DNA code depending on the cell's function. Your cells make up body tissues. Tissues make up organs, like your heart, for example. And organs are part of an organ system, like your circulatory system. Organ systems are so important for you to understand in order to know how your body works. And one thing to keep in mind is that organ systems, they don't work in isolation. They are not loners. No, they work together, and they're part of a big team. So we're going to intro the 11 major organ systems. Now, keep in mind, this is just a quick intro, so we're doing the bare bones, no pun intended, of the systems. And because they are all important, it's kind of hard to know where to start. So we're going to go in alphabetical order because we don't want you to think that one system is way more important than another. First, the circulatory system. You think of blood, and you should, because blood carries gases like oxygen, which your body needs, and helps remove carbon dioxide, which your body needs to expel. Your blood also transports nutrients that your body needs. Your heart is included in this system. It's a pumping machine that transports the blood around. Arteries are vessels that typically carry blood away from the heart. Think A for away. And veins typically carry blood back to the heart. And capillaries are tiny blood vessels throughout your body. Did you ever hear this rumor that your blood is blue and then turns red when it reaches oxygen? Well, guess what? That's not really true. Your blood is red. It's always red, even inside your body, though the shade of red can vary slightly due to the amount of oxygen present. Veins may appear blue or even green to you through the skin, but it's actually related to the wavelengths of light, so to the Google for that.
All right, first we have our circulatory system, and I'm going to do that in red. If you guys don't have more colors at home, that is totally okay. Pencil is fine, but I am going to use a little bit of color here. And our circulatory system, some keywords to help us to remember circulatory system is the blood, because the circulatory system circulates our blood throughout our body, and our blood is holding on to our oxygen and nutrients. And the heart. Those are two key words that you are going to associate with the circulatory system. All right, our video just talked about the digestive system.
The digestive system. It's important for breaking down and absorbing food for your body to get nutrients. Digestion actually starts in the mouth. You have some awesome enzymes in your saliva that get this process going. Your stomach contains acid, which furthers this process along. Your small intestine does most of the absorption of nutrients, and your large intestine has to reabsorb a lot of the water from this process. And just to note, there are a lot of accessory organs also involved in this fascinating process.
So, write digestive system in your notebooks. And for the digestive system, our keywords that we're going to look for are food. Anytime we see food or nutrients, as well as the word stomach, we are automatically going to think about the digestive system. Now remember that your nutrients are also connected to your blood as well. So if you guys want to draw a little droplet of blood there to help you remember that, you can.
Muscular system. No bones about it. Your bones can't do much without muscle to move them. You actually have three major types of muscle tissue, known as skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscle.
Our video just talked about the muscular system. So the muscular system, I'm also going to put in red because our muscles are pink and dark pink and red. So the muscular system, some key words that we're going to think about when we think about the muscular system, of course, is movement. Keyword there is move, as well as our muscles. And again, that's a root word in muscular. So muscles. Muscles and movement are what we're going to associate with the muscular system. Let's keep watching.
The nervous system. Your body would be a nervous wreck without something to coordinate it. That always helps me remember it. The nervous system includes your brain and your spinal cord. It controls voluntary actions. That's what you can control, like picking up a pencil. And involuntary actions, the ones you can't control, such as reflexes. At the cellular level, the nervous system uses cells known as neurons. With their amazing structure, these cells are kind of the cool cells on the block.
All right, now we've got the nervous system. The nervous system, wish I had a purple. Oh, there is a purple. Look at that. Nervous system. All right, so our nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. Those are the two most important parts of the nervous system. And they communicate by using electrical signals. They send electrical signals throughout our bodies. And I'm also going to draw an old school phone because that kind of helps me to remember what the neurons look like. They're kind of all spread out. So I like to associate an image with the words so that it helps me to remember those things.
And the respiratory system. This involves the lungs, and this system involves the intake of oxygen into the body and exhaling carbon dioxide from the body. Remember that your cells need this oxygen, and they need to get rid of carbon dioxide in order to function correctly.
Next, we have the respiratory system. This system is responsible for exchanging gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. And remember that the blood also transports the oxygen to the rest of our body and carbon dioxide away from our organs and to be expelled through the respiratory system as well. So if you would like to do the little drop of blood for the respiratory system beside of exchanging gases, that would be great. All right, so we have exchange gases, and the important parts of the respiratory system is, of course, the lungs. And remember that I said I was going to put a little drop of blood to help me to remember that, I need to do that in red, to help me to remember that the respiratory system and the circulatory system work very closely in transporting that oxygen throughout my body.
The skeletal system. Bones. Adults have 206 bones, and you had more at birth, but some bones, they fuse together. And these bones support you, they protect your organs, think rib cage, and they even produce blood cells from the bone marrow that's inside the bone. Understanding how the human body works is fascinating, and it's necessary so that we can figure out what to do when things go wrong. There are doctors that specialize specifically with each of these systems. But the most amazing part to us is their beauty and how they work together, working every second to let you do the things that you do. Want an example? Well, let's say that when the bell rings at the end of the day, you're going to race your friend down the hall. Think of all the body systems interacting for that to happen. Your respiratory system is going to increase its breathing rate, and that extra oxygen is going to be delivered throughout the circulatory system to your body tissues. Your muscles are interacting with the skeletal system for movement. These are just some interactions of the systems working together for that one example. The human body is just truly a magnificent masterpiece. Well,
last but not least, we have the skeletal system. I'm going to do that one in black. Skeletal system makes me think of skeletons, which makes me think of Halloween, black and orange. All right, so the skeletal system, some keywords to help us remember that we're talking about the skeletal system are going to be the key parts of the skeletal system, which of course is the bones. And remember that the skeletal system serves to protect our vital organs and to provide support for the rest of our body. So protect and support are keywords that are going to let us know that we're talking about the skeletal system. Remember, without the protection of our skull protecting the brain and the spinal the spine protecting the spinal cord, our nervous system would be very susceptible to injury, and we would be prone to devastating effects from that. One other thing that I'm going to add there is the red blood cells. Remember that our red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow, in our bones. So I'm going to add that there. Now, hopefully with these keywords, this is going to help you be able to remember what each of your organ systems' importance is, as well as be able to identify how these organ systems are working together. Just 3 to 4 keywords for each organ system.